Welcome back to the Rules of Engagement. We're now into the Q&A. I've got a couple questions today. The first question is going to be from Ross Walker. This question is, he feels I shrugged off Neural Parasite a bit too much. I was talking about a Scarlet versus Jim game, the one on Neoplanet S, right? And then he's saying that if Protoss relies on powerful units in low numbers, Neural Parasite is ideal. And I think that's actually a really good point, and it's something I briefly mentioned, but I think the idea wasn't quite conveyed correctly, is that Neural Parasite can be amazing. We've all seen those games where you just Neural Parasite everything and everything dies, but the skill it takes to utilize Neural Parasite is insanely difficult to use it well. 99 times out of 100. If you're not, one of the best players in the world, what's going to happen is all the infestors will die right as they're casting Neural Parasite, and you're not really going to get those Neural Parasites off very effectively. Even in the Scarlet vs. Jim game, that happened to her. And she's, many people would say the best player from the Americas. I mean, she won WCS last year. So if it happens to her, I can guarantee you it's going to happen to you guys a lot when you're trying to use it. It's something that at the pro level, pros can rarely use Neural Parasite well. And if they can rarely use it well, it's going to be difficult for you to use it. Of course, in the theoretical world, it's a great spell. It's just so difficult to use. Now, it's awesome to use and it's fun. I'm just saying, for you guys at home, if you want to focus, if you just want to win the games, it's a very, very difficult skill to use. So it's fun, has potential, but it's so difficult to use. In general, I'd avoid it unless it's something you think would be cool and you want to focus on. So our next question is going to be from Donuts. Donut with a bunch of numbers after it, which I don't really feel like saying the numbers. In TVP, if the Protoss goes for a Void Ray, Colossi, and Tempest, what can the Terran do? So this is a combination where you have to think about how do these units interact with each other. The Colossi are going to be great against primarily Marines, which is important because Void Rays and Tempest are terrible against Marines. Marines cannot touch Void Rays and Tempest, so Colossi are going to be great against those. Tempests aren't good against anything except for even battle cruisers. You're only good against battle cruisers, but they're there to try to draw Terran into the fight. The most important thing when dealing with any combination with Tempest is to realize, unless they have massive air units, Breedlords, Carriers, or Battlecruisers, the Tempests don't really do anything. So the goal is always to just completely ignore them until the battle's over, then deal with them. And then the Void Rays are going to be very good against Vikings if they can get in range. And then also I guess that's pretty much the only purpose of Void Rays in PvT is if Vikings are forced to come close to you because your Tempests keep picking away at them, Void Rays are going to be amazing. So you're trying to think, okay, the counter to Void Ray Tempest, Vikings are only good if I can kite really well, and that's going to be difficult. Marines are great, but Colossi will kill those. So how do I counter this competition? There's two ways. One is to say, okay, Marines are great versus these two. I can't use Vikings because their air is stronger than mine. How do I get rid of the Colossi? Well, if you get a lot of Marauders in front, if they don't have a lot of meat for the Colossi, there's no gateway units. Marauder Marine will beat this. They won't have enough Colossi. If you lead with 20 Marauders, the Marauders will go through, kill the Colossi. You follow it up with Marines. Marines will kill the rest. But if they have a lot of Photon Cannons, if they have a few High Templar mixed in, that might not work. So the second idea is, okay, this is a Super Late Game army. Against every Protoss Super Late Game army is a Terran, Ravens. You want to have Ravens. Ravens will be great against this. Thors are actually going to be really good too. So Thors and Ravens are great. The Ravens, the goal is a couple PDDs, just 2 PDDs. Tempests are now worthless. And then Seeker Missile the crap out of Void Rays. And then you can overwhelm the Colossi with ground forces. You can have some Vikings too. And you should be fine. But 2 numbers are either Mass Marauder Marine overrun them early, or Ravens plus whatever else you want. Thors, Marauders, Vikings, whatever. Ravens are your best friend against that composition. So our last question is going to be on Twitter, and it's going to be from Christian. If you are being contained, how do you catch up economically once you break the contain? So the goal, especially as Terran, is if you're being contained, it's because they have more units than you. If they have more units than you, unless they're just playing ahead of you, you should be ahead economically. If you're contained and you're behind economically, you're just way behind in the game. You have to play catch-up, which means try to do some crazy drop damage, try to do something amazing. But in a normal game, if you're contained by 1 base Blink Soccer, in TVT the Terran has a bigger army than you, you have like 3 orbitals, they only have 2, so then they have a few more Marines and they get a good position on you, you should be ahead in economy. So the goal shouldn't be how to catch up economically, because ideally, if you're contained, you're ahead in economy. The goal is break it as fast as possible before he gets too far ahead in economy, right? So that's why, and also the secondary goal is don't bleed away too many units. So don't just try to break it, just, be calm, patient, constantly build SCVs, add additional orbitals. Once you can break it by threatening enough counterattacks, threatening a drop play, then all of a sudden maybe your current income isn't high, but you have all these SCVs, all these orbitals. As soon as you do break it, you can fly them everywhere and you're mining everywhere, and hopefully you're at least at an even standpoint, if not ahead in economy. So this wraps up this episode of Rules of Engagement. Tomorrow, again, more WCS America group stage content at 6 p.m. Eastern. Another episode of Rules of Engagement will follow. Thank you guys for watching.